welcome to Crafts and Crime. I'm Amy.
I'm Elaine.
And today we actually have something a little different, but still craft related and crime related. And sometimes our brains just like...
That was hilarious.
It's so funny.
We were on the couch doing the rest of our research, and I laughed because I was like, look, I am not mentally prepared for like a big heavy thing. So I told her, I was like, I'm just going to make the crime a dingus day.
Yeah.
And then you looked at me.
I was like, I did something different. But this will be the first time that I did. I'm going to do this. So it'll be a surprise in a minute. You'll see what we're doing. Okay. But it's like...
Excited.
It's fun. But yeah, we didn't record last week.
It's
I think
been
we're
like
both
2.5 weeks.
Yeah, we both had a rough week last week. I really did. I'm struggling with the little ones. And yeah, just I don't know. Everyone's kind of going through stuff right now.
Seriously. I was just telling Amy, everybody, that if you believe in that stuff, it's like a huge full moon in Aries, and that can bring like a bunch of chaotic energy, and it's pretty heavy, and I know like a lot of people are going through it, so there's that if you're that kind of person.
I'm very sensitive to
barometric pressure. Seriously.
So I will know what the barometric pressure is when I open my eyes in the morning, because I'll get vertigo when the barometric pressure is at a certain point, and so I can pull up my phone and I'm like, yep, I know. Last week was horrible. I was down for the count, and I think we had like a bug or something.
A tummy bug, yeah.
Yeah, because it was like it hit me out of nowhere.
We think you ate something bad, remember?
Yeah, and then because then it happened to Avery, and then it happened to Lincoln, and we were like, what is happening? We were just sick, and I had orders to drop off and pick up, and so Jack helped me with that, but he's dealing with his own health stuff with his back or whatever is going on.
Yeah.
So it's like we're all falling apart.
Seriously. And the weather's finally got kind of fall-y, so we've been sort of chilled and cozied and just giving ourselves a bit of a break.
Yeah.
I have no issues with like withholding it. I have a medication adjustment right now, and it's making me feel spazzy, and I just can't focus, and so it took me a little bit longer, and I was like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And you were like, I didn't either.
But didn't you say you were having trouble with the crime, but not the craft? You were really into the craft.
Yeah, I even have my next craft already planned out, which is like freakish. Look at us doing stuff and doing things on time.
I have my craft halfway done, pretty much. I need to fill in a lot, like go back in and fill in a lot of stuff. But yeah, I was having a hard time with my craft this week, and that's what I said. I started doing one thing, and then I was like, forget it. I know exactly what I'm going to do. This is so much better.
Yeah.
Then I got into it, and yeah, it's hard when your brain's all foggy, and it's like, I don't know.
Nothing seems fun.
No. And it's like, it's the equivalent of like nothing sounds good to eat.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know.
You have to.
Yeah.
But you're struggling, and nothing sounds good enough or interesting enough. Like, do I really want to put the time into making this? And it's like, do I really want to do this research? It's not intriguing enough when I'm tired.
Yeah. And when you don't, you're not motivated or inspired or, interested in it. It's hard. It's like, I remember my mom, like, because we were talking about like, oh, you got to eat, but nothing sounds good. And my mom said when she was pregnant with me, you got to eat, but you're so sick. And so she would just take like a piece of white bread and some cheese and just like shove it down.
Right.
Just try to get something
filler and like protein.
Yeah. So that's what I felt like I was doing. Just shove something on the paper.
You forgot your snacks in my fridge.
Oh.
I saw them last night, and I had to move them around.
Speaking of cheese.
Yes, exactly. It reminded me.
Yeah, I came over.
That was the snack you brought, isn't it? What you ended up
It wasn't
eating?
bread. It was
like
cheese and
crackers.
No, it was the cheese and salami.
You had a bag of like something that you came over with.
That was the day before.
Are you sure?
The day before I came over with chips and
all
the
blends
spinach
together. That's right, because the baby wanted to eat it off your face.
Yeah. He was like in my mouth.
Right. He's hilarious. He does the same thing to Lenore. She was drinking milk, and then she was snuggling him, and he was like, blah, 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 and she was like, oh my god, it's so precious, but so gross.
It's
like
cute.
Yes, but it's like, you lick your butthole.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
I thought about that after I gave him a kiss on the lips, and I was like, that was probably by your butthole.
And Binkses.
Oh, I know. Ew. Well, at least they get along well. And
oh my God, they're
he's got a
too
little buddy.
cute. They are like BFFs forever. It's like, let me tell you about my best friend. They just go everywhere together, and they always play together, and he's very protective of him.
That's so
And I've
cute.
noticed something new. I just noticed it this morning. I was feeding the cats. All their chubby butts are eating the kitten food so that the kitten gets his kitten food because he's tiny. And they, they all scramble to try to eat. And I realize what's happening is Binks has given up his plate and the baby eats first.
Aww.
So he just like hangs back and the baby's eating
Binks is
first.
huge.
And
I
then
think he's got some reserves.
Seriously. And so it's really cute because it used to be like us, I would fill up the water bowl and Johnny would be waiting and Binks would like bam, bully him out of the way.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't do that because it's like.
So it's like the fourth one just kind of changed the dynamic of.
Allegedly I have 4. yeah. It really is hilarious. It like calmed everybody down.
Yeah. That's weird because
he's better litter box trained
I think
than
it's
the two boys, the older ones.
Yeah, the even number I think balances everything out because
Yes.
it's like you have the same dynamic of the 2 older ones and then the 2 younger ones.
Yeah, the 2 old ones are lazy.
Yeah, that's like, well, I mean, look at Frank right now. He's just.
But see, that's what's happening to Binks. He is getting lazy now
as he's getting older.
He's getting just a little bit older, but it's funny because you forget he's like 9 months old.
Yeah, he's still
That's
a baby.
still really young. Yeah, I mean, and I was just talking to you, like some cat breeds don't stop growing till they're like 2.
Yeah,
and
I know because Lincoln was asking me today. He was like, "When is Calvin having a birthday?" And I was like, "Yeah, Calvin's birthday's tomorrow, and he'll be 3." And he's like, "But why does he look like a grown up?" And I was like, "Well, because he's a cat, not like
he's a grown-up cat.
not like a 3-year-old kid." But
he
it was
can
just
officially drink.
Yeah, funny for a 5-year-old to try to figure it out.
The correlation.
Officially drink.
Yeah, he's officially
he's a legal
drinking
age.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that is funny though to put those like little things together.
Yeah, so it was cute watching him like try to. I'm like, well, he is a grown-up cat because like
he's
Kiki.
like 3 should be a baby.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Because I should have explained to him like Kiki. We call her the old lady because she's 15.
Yeah.
Or 14. She'll be 15 in March, and yeah, she's old. You could tell the difference between a 3-year-old cat and a 14-year-old cat.
Yeah.
But she got the zoomies the other day, and
that was
Jack
cute.
was like, "What the heck?"
I saw her run down the hallway one time, and you told me like she just had the zoomies.
Yeah, it's really weird when you have anybody who has old cats. It's like kind of rare, but she's still young and spry, and until she, I don't know, walks around like an old lady, and you're like, "You're little old lady bones."
Yeah, we had a really old dog when I was little, but he was also like super mistreated before we got him, so he had like painful bones. He had like bone issues, and so he was really chill, like a little Shih Tzu, and he was really chill, and very, very rarely the times that he would get excitement was just hilarious because he was such an old dude and he would have to take like a bunch of little breaks, and his favorite things were not like dog toys. His favorite thing was ripping up printer paper. And because
say socks,
no, printer paper,
that's not what I was thinking.
Yeah, and it was really funny too because he did it so infrequently that we just let him do it because he seriously was like, we're talking once a year.
Yeah.
And you could tell he would get into it because he would grab something else to tear up. And one time it was my homework. And I gathered up all the nasty wet pieces because I was like, there's no way she's going to believe it. And I brought it in a Ziploc bag. I was like, my dog ate my homework. And I made sure that I went to the front of the class. It was funny. I wasn't actually like that kind of obnoxious kid, but I didn't like that teacher anyway.
Yeah.
I remember her. And so, yeah, it was funny. Sorry, what happened? The old Zoomies is so cute because it is so childlike. It's like a puppy. It's like a kitten, and
that's like
so
Ralph. He does have old man bones. He's got like arthritis in his hips, and so it's sad to see him like get up because we kennel train them. So at night they're in their kennels and they actually like it, but they will like get up and he hobble like down the hallway.
It's
it's
little
so
grandpa
cute.
Gimp.
It's sad. Okay, so I guess I'll just get on with the craft part of it, the surprise.
I'm excited.
And I am doing craft themed am I the asshole? So,
Oh God.
so for those of you who don't know, there is a thread on Reddit. It's called "Am I the Asshole?" and people vote, either upvote or downvote, like if the person is an asshole or not. So, so I looked up some craft stuff because I think I heard something on TikTok and it kind of got, my gears turned, and I was like, I bet you there's a lot of craft related stuff. There is.
Nailed it.
Yeah. There is. So
there is a lot of drama in the crafting world too.
Oh my gosh. Even in like the Cricut group and stuff on Facebook, it's like, geez, people can turn drama out of anything. Although the chicken group, that has some
next level
drama. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because there's everybody from like you, the person that has the chickens and they're your pets. And then there's people, on the other extreme that will, raise chickens for not only eggs, but meat. And so you got two extremes and they are all converging in the middle. And,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. And people ask stupid questions too. But anyways, so I went down the rabbit hole and started reading a bunch of these. And so I thought this will be perfect. We'll talk about some craft drama. So I have 4 or 5. I have a few. And I will probably do this again in the future, just like you're doing another
Dingus
the
Day.
Dingus Day. So I'll get into it. So we will debate about this too, which is going to be fun because I already have my thoughts.
Okay. Oh boy.
Okay.
Hot topics with Elaine and Amy.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. We need to come up with like a. Never mind. I'll tell you later. Keep going.
Okay, so first, am I the asshole for being upset about my husband and mother-in-law organizing my craft room?
Oh, fuck. Absolutely, yes. Immediately, yes. Get out of it. Don't touch it. You're both assholes. Burn in hell.
And I thought of this would be perfect because when
you're killing me already.
When you were on vacation, I cleaned your house as a surprise, as a gift, and I did laundry, and I know, Kurt was there, but he works and then he comes home and he eats and sleeps. So, I was like, this will be a surprise. That way you could come home from your trip. And so I just knew it's like a general rule. You don't touch someone else's craft room. Like, I'll help you with it together, but I'm not about to go in there by myself and organize your craft room. You just don't touch someone else's craft.
Common knowledge.
Okay. Mother-in-law organized my craft room while we were on vacation. Then my husband lied to me to my face about it. We moved into a new house a few months ago. I still had many boxes in my craft room to unpack. My husband has asked me before if I wanted help with the room, and I've always said no because I don't want anyone else messing with my stuff.
My husband asks me too.
I didn't have the moving company touch it, and I intentionally packed it so that I would reorganize it whenever I unpacked it. It would be more difficult for someone who doesn't know what they're looking at to go through and try to do something with my stuff. So my husband decided it would be helpful to go behind my back and have his mom do it. I noticed it as soon as I got home.
Oh, God.
I asked him if he had his mom do it. He completely lied to my face and told me he hired an organizing company to come in. It's the most disorganized mess I've ever seen. I got suspicious a few days ago whenever it was so poorly organized that there were greeting cards in 3 different areas of the room. I decided to go through my husband's phone because he kept saying it was this company he found on Facebook. I was curious what company he hired and also wanted to verify if it was really mother-in-law like I suspected. Sure enough, it was his mom. I actually don't know if she decided to do it or if he asked her. I'm seriously upset about it, though. I don't think I can post screenshots of their convo, but basically, she asked about cameras in our house and was worried I would go back and see it was really her. He said not to worry. I didn't know how to use the cameras. I do.
Oh my God. Divorce.
She said to make sure he sticks to the story of it being an organizing company because, quote, later if you admit it, she'll hold it against me that I lied to her. He said not to worry and that he would take the fall if she ever finds out. So who is the asshole here? I did go through his phone and got very upset and yelled at my husband about it. So, we kind of knew just from the title. asshole. Like
Seriously.
the husband's
And
the
then,
asshole.
of course, there's
they
the
are
part-
not the wife is not the asshole for getting mad that the mother-in-law did it.
Right.
It's like,
Sorry, I'm
I mean,
adjusting my mic a little.
even if it was someone who knew what they were doing or looking at, so
Yeah.
it's like, just don't.
Just don't.
Just don't.
Because the thing is, my brain works in a specific way.
Mhm.
And typically, each of my crafts are separated and organized by what they are.
Mhm.
So, like, all my resin supplies, all the molds are in one spot. The pigments that I use just for that are in one spot. But I
Mhm.
will also use alcohol inks in other things. But I'll keep the pigments with that because that's the most likely place I'm going to use it.
Mhm.
Someone would take that and probably put it with my paint.
Mhm.
Bitch, that's not where it goes. That's
Yeah, I was
that's,
literally
it'd
just-
be like someone just coming in and I don't know. We live in our bedrooms a lot more than people used to back in
Yeah,
the
see,
day,
that was another
but-
thing. I didn't go in your bedroom.
No, you didn't.
I only did the kitchen,
and
the
I think
laundry
Kurt
room,
brought the
and-
laundry out.
Yeah, I didn't
yeah.
even go in your room. Or
I
your
wouldn't have
craft room.
cared.
Yeah,
I would have cared less of you organizing my bedroom. Just
'Cause
don't
it's
look in that
clothes.
one drawer.
Ew. So yeah, so they
How do you
were.
feel about her going through his phone though?
I think that's fine because I wouldn't care if Jack went through my phone,
Yeah.
especially if it was something specific and
Yeah.
he's lying. So it's like if he
Mhm.
has nothing to hide, like I have nothing to hide. Like Jack, you can look through my phone. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious.
But yeah, so what about you?
I don't. I would have no.
It's
Mm-mm.
there's nothing
Because
to
they already
hide,
would have
so-
known.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have
well,
looked because I already know there's no way. Like she knew her first, or they
Mhm.
knew their first instinct of
mhm.
knowing that it was a lie. And yeah, no, I don't
Yeah.
do that. I mean, like I know Kurt's passcode and he knows mine. It's not
Mhm.
like we
Same.
don't know it. But no,
There's
I
no
wouldn't-
reason to.
no,
but if
I-
there was a specific situation where I knew that they were lying, like if I
Yeah,
knew Jack was lying and I just had to
Maybe
like
then.
trust my gut
don't know.
I think it's not a problem because he totally
That's okay.
that was a stupid lie.
That was
and-
so
yeah,
fucked up
and that
and
was just
rude.
really. I get he was probably trying to just help, but it's like
Yeah.
if she
I'm
specific, if
sure
you asked her
she
before
has-
and she said no,
Absolutely.
don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
And I'm sure it was a very emphatic no. Just like
Yeah.
not like, nah, I don't really think I need the help, because it's
Mhm.
overwhelming and it's
Yeah.
a lot to ask of somebody.
Mhm.
But I am absolutely
I
sure.
know.
Like you heard me. I was like, no, and
Yeah, I know. We need to get to your craft room soon so we can start doing videos because
the
yeah,
light is so good.
It
in
is
there.
really good in there. Okay, next one.
Okay.
It's a little shorter. Am I the asshole for selling my girlfriend's craft, which she made from material that I paid for? My girlfriend, Emily, 23, and I, 30, have been dating for a year. We live together. Emily is a freelance writer, and she is also studying for her master's. She has this hobby of making stuffed toys, tablecloths, scarves, and stuff, but the most expensive and interesting ones are her glass cups and plates. She makes paintings on them and stores them in a shelf. I often pay for more than half of her materials. I got laid off work last January, and our financial condition was really bad by February, so I asked her if she could sell some of her crafts for money. She flat out refused and said that she is working extra hard and I should start looking for a job. I knew it was difficult for me to get a job and that harder days were coming, so I decided to sell some of her glass crockery and tablecloths on Etsy. I didn't tell her before selling them because I knew that she wouldn't understand. We survived February and March with her freelance money and glass crockery sets and some of our savings. Today, she was cleaning the shelves and she asked me if I knew where her crockery was. I told her that I'd sold them and she went absolutely hysterical. I was going to tell her later because I knew that she wouldn't understand otherwise. She called me a thief and demanded that I return her crockery immediately. I told her it was impossible and that she could always make the exact same ones. She hasn't talked to me and is being completely unreasonable and inconsiderate. Am I the asshole?
I would leave that relationship.
Yeah, I would too.
Absolutely.
You don't
That's
sell my
so
stuff.
fucked up.
It is.
Like,
they were
I-
voted the asshole.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I have sold art pieces. I've done commissioned art
Mhm.
pieces, but something that is I think a lot of people don't realize is it's very common for artists to make something and intend to sell it
Mm-hmm.
like maybe 5 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll like hold on to it, and it'll be on my wall. I used to have like a gallery wall of like oddities and pictures and things I had made and stuff. And eventually I would move on from those pieces and I would let them go. And it's kind of like a cathartic thing, because it's like letting go of that moment. Here, I'm all cliche, but like that would break me. That is the thievery, especially for only a year. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Sick.
And it's
What
just
a
like,
lazy
just go,
piece of shit.
He just didn't want to go find a job.
I would
get it,
donate
it's hard,
blood
but
before I
Yeah.
would do that to somebody
Plasma.
else.
Yeah.
That poor thing.
Yeah. So he was voted the asshole, and I agree.
Absolutely.
Okay. Next.
This is fun.
I know.
Let's talk
And-
shit.
Next one. Am I the asshole because I won't let my nieces use my crafting supplies, even though it would be a bonding experience?
No, you're not. Sorry.
I worked at a craft store through college and for a few years after, and over the years I've grown quite the collection of items. I do a mix of things like sewing, painting, knitting, etc. My sister has always acted like anything anyone in the family owns is community property, and she'll jump up and start using someone's things, eat their food, etc. without asking first. I've always disliked this
I know
behavior.
a family member like that.
Yeah, I do too.
We know.
We know. I have always disliked this behavior, and she knows but ignores it. This extends to her kids, my nieces. While they're great kids, I don't really enjoy spending a lot of time with them these days. They're very, very loud and shrieky, giggle fits and yelling and dancing and singing all the time, which is totally, completely, absolutely normal, and they should continue to do all of the above at their house.
Yeah.
Well, my sister has become obsessed with the idea that I'm going to pass on a lot of my crafting things to the girls and teach them all the crafts I know. I've already told her that if she wants me to teach them anything, they'll have to be a little older and more mature, and she'll need to buy the supplies. She keeps saying, they can just use yours, despite me saying, no, they can't, over and over again. It came to a head when she sent them to me for a weekend so she could work. She told them when they got here that I was going to spend the weekend teaching them how to sew.
Ugh.
I had to explain to two little girls who were all excited that no, we aren't going to do that. Sister and I got in a huge fight about it, and she keeps calling me selfish and saying that she doesn't understand what the big deal is and why I can't share with my nieces. I told her that she needs to get over the idea that, but it's family, is a valid excuse to act entitled to everyone's property. She just kept telling me I'm self-obsessed and mean. Am I the asshole? Do I owe my nieces my supplies and time and energy just because we're related? No, you don't.
No.
And I think what people who don't know, like, even sewing, a sewing machine is very expensive.
It's a tool.
yeah.
A dangerous.
Yeah.
Cut baby fingers off.
And fabric's not cheap.
No.
And so just sewing, it's like, my grandma wanted to teach me to sew. So I learned from my grandma. And my mom would always get mad because my grandma she loved to sew, and it was just an activity, I think, to keep me busy. So I would look through like the patterns and stuff. I'm like, oh, here, she would make me like stuffed animals and stuff. My mom would be like, I didn't send you to the grandma's house for the weekend for her to sew you stuff. But it's like, that is on the person who's the crafting. I know, like, with my kids, my own kids come up to me and they say they want to learn how to crochet, I give them a basic crochet hook and a basic yarn, you know, and I try to teach them. And I'm assuming that these little girls are like probably Lincoln Lily's age.
Yeah, it's what
it sounds like it from the behavior, because I'm like, that's how my kids act. But which is fine at their own home. But I would never like tell them like, oh, go over to Elaine's house. She's going to teach you how to, do whatever.
Yeah.
So,
I know. And like people, that's crazy because we don't know what she does. She could be a painter whose tubes of paint cost like $500.
Yeah,
and
I
she's
know.
like, go use your paint.
That's like Jack's stuff costs a lot of money for like a little paint set.
It does.
So yeah, and a lot of supplies. It's not like if you're an adult doing crafts, you're not buying the cheap acrylic little kids paint.
Exactly.
You're buying nice paint. You're buying nice fabric. You're buying nice yarn.
Exactly.
And so it's like that could be thousands of dollars in that craft room.
Even when it comes down to like all the scrapbook paper I have, most of them are for like I used to do like big albums and stuff, but not like the scrapbook kind like we think of, like a single sheet. And so I needed multiples of the same. and they come in pairs, and I can't just have somebody cutting up one of them. I need them both because if you don't do scrapbooking, it's a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and you can't uncut something once you've cut it. And so it seems so silly, but I would never pay full price for those packets of paper.
No.
But they're like $20.
Yeah,
and
that's expensive.
And I would always buy them super cheap to try to cut down on the cost. I would never pay full price for them, but that doesn't devalue them. They're still expensive, and I can't replace it.
Yeah.
Hashtag a little bit of hoarder. Okay. Do you have any more?
I do. I am going to skip the really long one. I'm going to save that for another time because it is a really interesting one. But as the moment that we are recording, it is still October. I know this comes out in November. And next, how many more days until Halloween? A few? Friday,
Four.
Saturday, Sunday,
It's
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah. So 4 more days till Halloween. And
only 3 full days.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Okay. Am I the asshole for not wanting my husband's friend's son over for my Halloween crafts day?
Oh,
I decided. I know. That's why I read that and I'm like,
yeah, I need to hear it.
Okay.
I can't make a split judgment decision right now.
I decided to get some Halloween crafts together: coloring pages, construction paper, paper plates, string, yarn, spooky eyes, etc. for my kids. I then invited my in-laws over with their kids as well for it. With just the cousins, that is 12 kids, but since mainly this is geared to younger kids, that would be about 8 kids participating. This will be Sunday. My husband will not be here as he is working. Okay, so he comes home yesterday and tells me he told his friend from work, they have gotten very close and text and talk daily, even out of work, to drop his son, who I have never met and has ADHD and other problems that caused him to get kicked out of school at 8, to drop him off for my crafts day.
No.
I told him that was rude and he should have asked me first. I already will have enough kids I do know over. I don't want to deal with a kid I have never met or seen before, especially after the problems my husband has told me he has in school. I told him he was rude for inviting him since he, my husband, won't even be there. So I told him to rescind the invitation. My husband says that I'm being an asshole since this is just a kid. He also said his dad wouldn't stay so I wouldn't have to feel awkward. I don't want to babysit. And this would be a good way for our son, same age, and him to make friends. Again, I said then he should invite him over when he, my husband, was home. Finally, he said I was being prejudiced against him for the things my husband told me, like he has trouble in school, can't sit still, been suspended multiple times. He said if we rescind the invitation, that's rude since he was already invited. Finally, the only thing my husband said was he probably won't come anyway, so it doesn't matter. Am I the asshole?
Okay. So here's the thing. At first I feel bad, and then I don't feel bad, and I feel empathy because yes, it is kind of rude to rescind the invitation, but that's not her fault. As I have gotten older and I've been teaching myself to establish boundaries, which is hard, and it does hurt people, and that's what is going to happen here, but that is not on her, that is on him, because again, yes, I'm not having it has nothing to do even with the ADHD. I'm not having a kid that I've never met. That whole situation is enough. A parent needs to be there. Like I expect to at least meet a parent.
Yeah.
I don't that part is weird. I absolutely don't think she's the asshole at all. You can't tell somebody that the day before. What if she only had 7 crafts? Like
exactly.
He has no idea of knowing that. So I do feel bad, but no, she's not the asshole.
No, she was voted not the asshole.
Yeah.
So I would be irritated too if Jack was just like, oh, this guy is going to drop his kid off for like our Halloween day. I'd be like, what? And you're not even, and the husband's not even going to be there.
Right.
It would be different if it was like, the husband's going to be there. He's invited a coworker. I'd still be irritated. Like, fine, it's another kid, that you weren't planning on. And my son has ADHD, and my youngest, and it is hard sometimes to get him to sit still to do a craft. I mean, he did. He did really good when we did the craft on Saturday.
Yeah.
He was really concentrating. His tongue was out, putting those little dots
those
on.
little dexterity things are fun.
But I think that would be scary for Lincoln if it was like just drop him off. And
I would not, as who I was as a child, I would not want to be taken. That would be overstimulating.
Yeah.
There's no way 12 children and the coordinating adults are going to be quiet.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Halloween
loud
party is
and-
going to be fun and boisterous and stuff. And he's not thinking about the fact that the moment this child becomes overstimulated, are they going to be a danger to themselves? And nobody can calm them down because nobody knows him.
Yeah. They don't know him.
There's
don't
no
know
rapport. There's nothing to help
And-
his triggers to know, like, oh, all he needs is to be like, that's so rude.
Yeah, it's definitely rude of the husband to just assume that his wife wants to, like she said, I don't want to babysit, because that's
No.
what you're then in charge of,
Absolutely.
of someone else's kid. It's enough when it's your own kid and then you have family over, so they're watching their own kids, but now you're
I get it. I
and you're-
totally get it.
oh, so yeah, she was voted not the
Ugh.
asshole. But I'll leave it on.
Wow.
I'll leave it on that because I have plenty more for another episode in the future.
I know those things are huge.
And-
I'm sure there's
yeah,
enough.
I could have picked
Good
so
job.
many.
That was
but-
super fun.
yeah, and let us know if you like it. You can comment.
Well,
on-
I do. So
Yeah. So we're gonna do it. Yeah,
We
let us
will
know
do it.
on Instagram, Facebook, all that if you liked it, and yeah, tell us your thoughts.
that was
But-
super fun.
So now we move on to some
Dingus Day.
dinguses.
So I have a few things that I had pulled up. I have some articles, and it's kind of interesting because I have a kind of a half dingus, and again, like, we can weigh in on it and we'll chit chat about it and
Okay.
see. And I had to just like leave the tabs open on my phone. I have 29 tabs open right now. Yeah. And most of them refer to this, like the future craft I have planned, all my
Oh,
sources.
okay.
So I have them all open because I need to
Yeah,
leave them open.
I had a lot, and then I'm able to close them out once I type out my sources, and then I'm like,
Yeah,
close out like
yeah.
these 15 tabs.
And that exactly when we're done doing our sources, then I can close them out.
That's a little behind the scenes. We sit here and
Yeah, immediately, or we
Immediately.
will not do it until the last minute.
yeah, and it's me. I'm the one that does it.
It's okay. I do the Instagram posts late, and a lot of people
Yeah.
notice that. So this is something that I had kept seeing for a while, and this is a HuffPost article.
Okay.
And so, yeah, reserve your judgment till I'm done. We'll just see. School bus driver fired for drinking White Claw on the job, says it was an accident.
I know this one.
Okay. So have you heard all of it, as it kept coming out a
Yes.
little bit? Okay. So Amal Hanna, who is 60, claimed that she couldn't taste that the beverage was alcoholic as a result of her chemotherapy treatments. The Long Island bus driver was fired after she was caught drinking a White Claw seltzer while transporting children from school in Smithtown, New York. She grabbed it from the fridge. She thought it was a regular seltzer water. And while she was on the bus, I am guessing, good job for this passenger, but somebody reported her seeing her with the White Claw in the cup holder from the bus, and the school district pulled her from her route, and everybody was fine. She wasn't even hammered or anything like that. But she says, for people like me that don't drink, how are they going to know this is alcohol? Said Hannah, who added that she had no clue that White Claw contains alcohol, according to the News 12. She's afraid of losing her house if she loses this job, because she's had the job for 15 years. And she's liked and well respected. She's getting a bunch of support from GoFundMe. People feel terrible because the kids have said she's amazing. And she doesn't want to lose her job. Several of the parents from the Smithtown High School West, who have children that they know, have said that she was amazing.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. The box says it. The commercials say it.
Yeah.
The cans say it.
Well.
So I'm guessing her roommate had them and just left them there, and I don't know, though.
Is not the first time that I've heard this happen.
I think Kurt has accidentally grabbed a beer instead of an energy drink.
Jack has taken.
Or no, instead of a Diet Coke. But
Okay.
he caught it in time and put it back.
Okay. Jack took a beer to work
They all look so similar.
and almost opened it, and then but he knows what, because he drinks beer, and then he was like, "Dang it, I thought I grabbed an energy drink because they look the same."
Yeah.
And I know that people also will think that Liquid Death is beer. But
yeah,
it's not,
totally.
'cause
I
looks
thought it
like
was
a
an
beer can.
energy drink, but it's water.
Yeah, it's just water.
It's seltzer water.
And I have heard people that Mom, what do you drink? I didn't know you liked those. And she's like, yeah, it's this new sparkling water. And they're like, there's alcohol in that. And she's like, I've had 6.
Oh my God.
So I do believe this.
That's
and I know
crazy.
chemo can mess with your taste buds. And if you don't drink alcohol, because I do drink White Claws,
Yeah.
You can't really tell.
See, here's the thing, though, is it's just it's a personal opinion because every alcohol I taste, it's disgusting, and I taste it, and I can't.
But if
escape
her
it.
taste buds
And
are
exactly.
affected,
And
I
so-
believe her.
But I think for me, it's just weird because for me, I will not put something in my mouth until I've looked at it.
Oh, you see, I know a lot of people don't,
That's weird.
and so
to
it's
me.
like, oh, like.
I think it's probably an OCD thing that I have, though.
Yeah, I could see this being a total honest mistake.
That's a shitty bummer. So I
but
hope
it
it
really
works out
is.
for her.
I
didn't
do.
think badly of her. When I read the whole thing, I was like, damn, that sucks.
And I
After COVID, everything tastes like crap to me now, too.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's been almost a year exactly,
Mhm.
and everything still tastes wrong.
I'm so glad I didn't get that. I have had COVID twice.
I know one of my friends is a nurse, and I'm going to have to ask her now. I'm curious, but she got it when, COVID first obviously happened, and her taste buds never came back.
That's crazy.
So that's like, years ago now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So-
no harshness for her. I'm just really, I don't know. I look at every.
I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, I could totally see how that could happen.
Yeah,
I do.
I get it, but I guess
I think it was a mistake.
I think
because
seltzer
also,
water tastes like shit too. I drink it so that I don't drink more Diet Cokes, and so I understand that acrid, bitter fizziness
Mhm.
could correlate with the shitty acrid taste of like malt
doesn't
beverages.
taste bad. It's not bad.
It it can be to me.
Well, to
It's-
you.
and
I like
that's
White
the
Claws.
thing. It's
I used to get them a lot.
I just don't drink. It's gross to me.
Yeah.
It's too much, and I always will taste it.
Yeah. I
That's
I
okay.
like them. They taste good. I
Okay.
just don't like the black cherry one. I don't
Black
like cherry stuff.
anything
I
ends up
don't
tasting
either.
really medicinal and like cough syrupy.
Yeah, and
I can't
hate,
imagine adding alcohol
hate
to
the
that taste.
cordial cherries. You know, the chocolate.
Ew, with the
covered.
liquid inside or the
Yes,
white pasty
for
shit.
about, I want to say over 10 years,
You've
Jack
gotten a box.
would get it for me every single Christmas because I hate them.
Yeah, so he could eat
So
them.
that he could eat them.
Yeah.
And I finally was like, stop, please stop. I know they're not that expensive, but please stop.
Yeah, I think they're like $1.
Yeah. And I'm like, just don't. We don't need it in the house.
I wish it was literally just a dried off, so the chocolate could hold maraschino cherry dipped in chocolate. That's what I
Yeah,
want.
it's
I
like,
don't want the.
Oh, it's like hurting my
what
teeth just
it
thinking
is.
about it.
Like, what is it called? Oh my god, the fondant. So they have the liquid fondant kind, and then they have the pasty fondant kind, and I hate them.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm getting like the chills.
The
That's how
grodinesses.
that's how much I hate them.
it's super.
So yeah, like black
nasty.
cherry, because the White Claws would come in a pack, and it's like black cherry. I haven't gotten them in a while. Like raspberry.
Every
and-
time I see them when we're at the grocery store, I tell Kurt, I was like, oh, I want to try these, but they don't have them like singularly at at Staters, and
I'll buy some.
I don't want to buy a box of like 24
I'm
of
gonna
them.
add it to my Walmart cart right now. and
Nothing
and then you can try
super
one.
tropical, please, if you can, because like
Well-
mango guava, like that's the straight up tastes like perfume.
Oh,
I'm gonna
see,
take a
I like the,
drink and
gua-
then-
the
As long as there's some other mix in there, like just let me know. Here we go. You guys are going grocery shopping with us now. It's okay. I'll pull this open while you do that. Okay, my next one.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, this is from expatica.com,
Mhm.
and this one's a little bit different, and you've done this one before too. Funny, outdated, weird laws in France.
Ooh,
So
I like
picked a
those.
couple different, I picked a couple different countries from these. There's a whole list, and I am not going to read all of them,
Okay.
but this is funny. Snails must have their own ticket on French trains. Dang it. Do you think that he has like a little tiny piece of paper and they're like, Monsieur?
That's
Okay.
kind of funny.
Yeah, right? So, snails on a train. Well, it sounds like the French remake of the infamous movie starring Samuel Jackson. It turns out it's just a reminder that animals weighing less than 5 kilos must travel with their own ticket. What? So, technically, it's a law that anything can be construed to that. So, yeah, snails, you can't. You can't name your pig Napoleon.
What?
Yes, and the thing is too is that I know this too. I know that there is a law you are not allowed to make fun. We can because we don't live in France, but you're not allowed to make fun of Napoleon. It's illegal. His height,
Really?
you're not allowed to make jokes about it.
Well, my pig was Hank.
That's so cute. Though that weird 19th century law is still in effect today in France, so you can call your pig whatever you like, but certainly not Napoleon.
What? That is
that
so
funny?
weird.
So, unlike all of the popular movies we've seen forever, You cannot kiss in a French train station.
What?
The French railways, the SNCF, I will not try to pronounce that, got tired of the delays caused by couples kissing their farewells on the platforms.
On the platform?
On the platforms. No
I mean-
worries. I know. You probably won't get arrested or even scolded. You're Frenching your goodbyes. However, you may get so distracted that you'll miss your train. So it's more like a guideline.
Just, yeah.
Right?
That's funny.
Women who want to dress like a man must first ask the police. This is due to an outdated law from the 19th century.
It sounds all right.
Yeah, because they want pants. No pants for France. Only if you were riding a bike or a horse,
Oh, okay.
right? Don't let the kids have ketchup. This makes sense, though. There's so much sugar and garbage in ketchup. So in 2011, a law forbids school cafeterias from serving ketchup.
Oh.
And this strange law is apparently the result of a crusade by Christopher, it says Herbert, but it's probably Hebert, the president of the Association Nationale des Directeurs de la Restauration Municipale. I got most of that. I fucked up the restaurant
Yeah, good.
part.
Way better than me.
We're not sure what the guy really holds against ketchup, whose ingredients, tomatoes, vinegar, sugar, not even unhealthy, except maybe for yet another anti-American sentiment. But honestly, though, it's crap and it probably has red dye in it.
Yeah, I know. I've been cutting all dyes out
Yeah, it matters.
for the little ones. It really does
totally
make a difference
matters.
because I don't remember if I talked about this on here. There was one day Lincoln was just spazzing out, and I asked Jack what he fed him for breakfast, and it
What
was
did you do?
It was oatmeal, but it was strawberries and cream oatmeal. It was like Walmart brand, and I looked at the ingredients on the back, and there was red dye in it.
Yeah, because dehydrated strawberries are like red
Brown.
brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they blend them up and they like pulverize the powder. They spritz it with pinkish red dye and then they crush it back into little chunk shapes.
Yeah.
I love them, but yeah, it's so unnecessary.
It is. And so I was like, well, that explains it. And so we
Right.
know anytime they get into sugar, both kids, both the little ones. So that's just it. It's like a switch flips. Okay. You got another?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is from, I don't know if it's pronounced Dutton or Dutton Law.ca. 8 weird but true laws in Canada. That's the
Okay.
article title. I'm not going to read all 8. I keep saying that because like this will be in the sources. You can read them all.
Yeah.
They're funny. No dueling. Dang it.
Duel. So like not even a fencing duel?
I don't know. Okay.
Or like a revolver.
Exactly. The picture's really funny. It's a dude with a sword. Before recently being repealed, Section 71 of the Canadian Criminal Code made it illegal to engage in duel. That's
I challenge you to
simple.
a duel.
Hey, you stop crying.
Oh no.
Is he gonna yak?
he's gonna yak. Pause. Okay. So we were just saying, should we leave it in? We're leaving it in. You get a little blooper in the middle, well, towards the end.
Yes.
Yeah, the cat cries and says, "Oh no," before he barfs. So
Me too, pal. Me too.
okay, next
Yeah. Let's see.
we're talking about dueling.
Yeah. So that was that was it. I
Oh,
mean,
for-
they took it away. Yeah. So you can do it. You can duel now, which is funny. But so no sales of spray paint to minors. Now the interesting part is I don't find that weird because that's a thing here too.
Yeah, it is a thing.
So
here.
I'm interested as why they
Why is
added
that
it.
weird?
Because to me that's super normal. But I'm like, and it's not even a regional.
Isn't it all
Wait a
aerosol?
minute, I'm thinking, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
the federal law because the huffing.
Mhm.
And you know what's really sad and interesting is one of those bans went into effect because somebody at my sister's school did that and passed away.
Oh.
And his mom was like a really big push to helping the warning label that's like federal misuse of this product and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Sorry, that was a
Oh.
little bit weird, but that was like I don't understand it too. I'm like, that's normal
That's
hair.
not a weird one because it
Mm-mm.
is like that here. And yeah, I don't want
Yeah.
my minor
These are
children.
so funny because like this list is so like how we always stereotypical Canadians are like so sweet and nice and friendly and clean because these are all like these aren't weird. These are just nice. No spitting on sidewalks.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's mostly just in many Canadian cities like Vancouver, spitting on sidewalks is considered a public nuisance and is punishable by fines. And it's funny because I remember talking to Kurt about that one time because back home, there's a city that's like super liberal and I love it. And they are like the first ones that I think in the state did that, which was making it a fine. It's while it's a nuisance, they count it as like a littering fine.
Yeah.
And he was like, what? And I was like, look, I get it. Sometimes you could be choking on phlegm. Cough it into the street.
Yeah.
But nobody does. So we're talking spitting out gum, you know, all that. Because it's nasty.
That's the worst.
I do not want to step on your snot rocket or your gum. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
I have a funny story about gum on the ground.
yeah.
We were little kids and walking out of church, and my mom was like, Bradley, where did you get that piece of gum? And he was like, off the floor.
Dude, my brother did the exact same thing. He was notorious for it. I remember my dad told me, he's like, you couldn't go anywhere without him finding something and eating it. And he said we like for in the United States there's a chain store, not anymore, called Kmart, and it's just a big giant store that sells everything, clothing, housewares, whatever. And they were the first place that did popcorn.
Yeah.
So my dad said that this was forever ago. This was the 70s. Forever ago. Sorry, but like for me, there's a huge age gap between my brothers and I. And so he was saying that they were at Kmart and he was like 5-ish, 6-ish, you know, and he just like had a bag of popcorn. And my dad was like, what? Where did you get that from? And he took it out of the garbage can. So he did the same thing, like balls of gum off the floor, like Stuart. Don't make me do it.
Elaine does an amazing
Stuart's mom. I don't even know what her name is.
I don't
Isn't
know.
it like
I know what it is.
Dang it.
Yeah. So
Dang.
Mad TV, the Stewart skit.
Maybe I'll do it someday.
Well,
it's too loud.
You did on Patreon.
That's right.
If you really, it's really good.
Oh,
I was like,
it's
one
funny.
year I'll dress up as Stewart and you can be Stewart.
We'll rouge up your cheeks.
Yeah.
Because basically that's what we were saying is like our generation's going to be the only one that gets it.
Yeah. Well, my kids would get it because we've watched
That's
it with
true.
them, so they know who Stewart is.
Very true. Okay. I only have a few more, but I do have a little dingus. Like this is just my little I keep thinking, I'm like, should I save this? So this one is from eaglewools.com.au. Weird Australian laws you may not have heard of. In Queensland, taxi cabs are required to carry a hay bale in the trunk.
What?
It does not give you explanation.
What?
I'm interested.
I'm wondering if that's like really, really old.
I'm sure it's like a
when,
superstition or some kind of...
Or when it was horse-drawn taxi.
Yeah, but I'm going to look it up. I will
That
look
is
it up.
really
And we
interesting.
will get back to it.
Yeah.
Apparently in Australia, it's actually illegal to be drunk in a pub. But the thing is, that's kind of funny, but that's being drunk in public. That's illegal here technically too.
Yeah.
You are breaking the law if you wander around Australia with black shoe polish on your face. Bitch, please. That is wrong anywhere. Why are these on here? Like, okay, maybe I should have like overviewed these a little better, and I did. But apparently I'm like, come on now.
Yeah.
Be careful if you enjoy cleaning and live in Melbourne. It's illegal to use your vacuum between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. At weekends and at weekends.
On weekends.
That grammar
Yeah.
is not me. 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. during the week.
I think that's other countries too. I've heard about that with
I mean, I get that.
you
have a
don't
nice,
vacuum on
solid,
Sundays.
quiet morning.
Yeah, and you don't vacuum on Sundays in Germany or something like that. I just remember seeing a TikTok where she like moved to Germany and like just weird things that are like like you just don't vacuum at night. You don't. Yeah, so that I could see that one.
That's interesting.
I'm sure that applies more to like apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah, because think about it. If you have like an upstairs neighbor and they're vacuuming at like 10 o'clock at night and you're like, I have to be up at 4 in the morning.
That's absolutely true. Let's see. I'll get a It's illegal to give psychic and tarot readings as these are forms of witchcraft. Well, I'm in trouble. I guess I can't go to Australia.
Just don't bring your tarot cards.
Exactly. I'm like, these are just playing cards. It's a weird game
Yeah.
called Go Find Yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are not allowed to buy cigarettes.
Well, that's the same here.
Of course. But, however, there is no law that specifically states that they are unable to smoke them. But,
what?
Yes. I guess they figure they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So that means that technically,
If they
a
didn't
kid
buy
could
them.
swipe them from a family member or a friend, or have a creep give them a cigarette. They can walk down the street smoking a cigarette because, in theory, it is not illegal.
I wonder. Yeah, it is weird.
Seriously. I think it's just like, this should be enough. We don't need to make it the rest. Okay. So, sorry. Freaking ads loaded.
No.
This is not funny, but it's funny because it's ridiculous.
It's not funny, but funny?
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
funny, but it's funny. And everything is okay.
Okay.
So, this is from, sorry, I have to do it. Never heard the radio station. 107.5 Extreme Radio. I can totally hear the guy with like a bald mullet doing that. I'm sorry if you don't have a bald mullet, radio DJ. A drunk dad reported his kid missing, but he just forgot him at home.
What? Oh my gosh.
And I understand. I don't understand, but I've watched this documentary about people who leave their children. I was actually thinking about doing it for like a crime case, and I was like, I can't.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And so I watched this documentary, and it was so sad because you think you wouldn't feel for these people, and you do, because
The ones who leave their
who forget their kids in the car and they pass away.
Yeah.
And it gets down to the deep psychology of and a psychologist is literally like, you would think that it's not possible, but that morning routine is like an autopilot, and it's unfortunately, unbelievably, it happens way more than you think. But people don't talk about it because that is embarrassing, humiliating. You become viewed as like the worst person ever.
Well, it's like on my GPS thing.
Yes, it cracks me up every time.
Because once you get to your destination, it has a child reminder pop up,
Check
and you
the
can turn it
backseat.
off. But
Yeah.
it's like I just turn it on because I'm like not like I don't know.
Yeah.
I drove in the carpool lane all the way, like probably 30 miles in the carpool lane. I didn't have kids with me. I'm just so
You're
used
so
to having
used to
kids
it.
in the car,
Yeah.
and I'll go autopilot and like I'm heading the wrong direction. Just like whoa, I'm supposed to be heading east, but I'm just on autopilot going west.
Especially if you have like any tiny change to your routine. So like when we moved into this house, the amount of times that Kurt drove back to the apartment we lived at because it's super close to here.
Yeah.
So it's literally 2 turns and then you can get there. 3 turns and then you're right down the street.
Much, yeah.
Yep. And so he did that multiple times. So anyway, I'm not condoning that in any way. I'm just saying it's crazy to me, but this happens so often and it's so sad.
At least the kid was just at home.
Yeah. So you don't have to be a genius to be a criminal. And this post is dedicated to the dumbest of dumb criminals. So apparently a dad in Connecticut called the cops to report his kid missing after he popped into a grocery store and they were not in the car when he got back. Turned out he was just drunk and didn't realize he forgot his kid at home.
So he went shopping drunk. He drove drunk.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did he
drove drunk?
So obviously he got like a DUI.
I get it, right? It's just unbelievable. Yeah. So here's his mug shot, and yeah. So it's literally they're that short. This is like a list. So the next one is kind of interesting because it's really it's so ridiculous. This is the next one. It's the same article, but these are just like blurbs. So it was cool. So I left it up. Cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Idiot criminal of the day. A guy pulls a gun on a stranger that refused to buy him a Happy Meal. Being denied a Happy Meal from a stranger could put a frown on most people, but this guy took it to another level. According to a report, a man in North Dakota refused to buy a random guy a Big Mac and a Happy Meal. That's not cheap.
No, it's not.
At McDonald's, and told him to go get a job. That's rude, but this not warranted for this.
Like, I don't
so the
have
guy
McDonald's
pulled
money.
out a gun, threatened him with it, and was luckily arrested. And he looks like a turd. His little mugshot here. It's like bad hair.
Gosh.
Bad hair. these idiot criminals of the day. 2 thieves busted when they returned to the scene of the crime while the cops were still investigating. 2 idiots in Florida stole an old lady's wallet at Walmart and used her credit card to buy $2,000 worth of stuff.
Huh.
Then they got arrested when they came back the next day while cops were there investigating the theft and looking for them. So they literally went back, probably to spend more money of hers there.
Stupid.
So this is one of those funny things when, like, you're like, what are you going to do? Call the cops? Because it's illegal. Drug dealer calls the cops after a customer stole $10 from him.
Oh my God. I know.
Lord help me now. 33-year-old drug dealer in Florida. Step it up, Florida. Florida is huge, though.
Yeah, it is.
Got arrested on Friday, quote unquote. I'm not, you know, after he called the cops and said a customer stole $10 from him. According to this report, Eric Thomas called the officers to report a theft of $10. When they arrived, he had 11 baggies of pot in his possession and confessed that the person who stole the $10 was there to buy pot. Both of those were a no-no in Florida. I think they still are. Yeah. I don't think marijuana is legal there yet.
Well, I also think here it's legal to smoke it and buy it, but not to, like, be a dealer.
Right. You can give it away for free.
Yeah, but you can't sell it.
It can be a gift.
Yeah.
Donation.
Just like a beer or a bottle of wine.
Exactly. Okay, so during a post-arrest search, he also had 2 baggies of coke in his wallet. He was arrested and charged with a pair of drug felonies. He... for $10.
For over $10.
For 2 felonies, over $10.
That's crazy.
One more, and then I'll save some more of these so we can do it again. Maybe we'll pull them together. It'll be the Am I an Asshole Craft Edition and Dingus Days.
Yep.
Missing man found alive after allegedly faking death to avoid other charges. North Carolina's own Melvin MD. I want to call it MD. Melvin MD is back in police custody. I guess we're supposed to know this crazy person.
Oh.
After allegedly and unsuccessfully trying to fake his own death. According to reports on August 7th, police received a call from MD's son saying that his dad had fallen overboard in a kayak and drowned. That is really believable, though, which is crazy. There's so many water deaths that happen. Like that girl from Glee in that lake.
And they couldn't find her for the longest time.
Yeah, and it was because the baby had the life vest on and she didn't. So supposedly his death happened the same day that MD was due in court to answer for statutory rape charges. Ugh. Gross. The cops suspected it was a hoax, but went along with the story while they were searching for evidence of a drowning and posted updates on the rescue and a frantic search for his body. Why did they think it was fake? Well, MD was still wearing his ankle monitor from his previous arrest, and on the day of his purported drowning, he was really at Walmart buying 2 prepaid phones.
Oh gosh, so stupid.
On Sunday, MD was taken into custody after a traffic stop and crash while he was driving his motorcycle in Georgia. And that wraps it up because my brain cells are just fucking wasting away from how dumb.
Stupid everybody is.
Like, all crimes are dumb.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're just like, you ain't cut out for it.
Yeah. Like the whole drug dealer thing. It's like the drugs fried his brain. He's thinking, man, I love him. $10.
Sure. $10.
I'm call the cops. They're going to get him.
That's like the drug-induced psychosis.
He didn't even hide the drugs
first.
first.
No, there was no flushing. And I guarantee they're like little baggies.
Yeah.
There was no way he was pushing any kind of volume. And while I do think that like drug dealers and marijuana, it's fucking ridiculous and they're trying to work on that. Everybody's opinion's different and that's totally fine. But like, for so little, you can tell he was not pushing some kind of weight, and he's got felony charges now, over $10.
Yeah.
What happened to a good old knee breaking? Just kidding. Wow.
Wouldn't it be funny if it turns out that the $10 was just sitting somewhere else and he just
probably fell on the floor?
Yeah.
It was like underneath. Like
or it was in his other pocket. He's like, oh, there it is.
God.
Well, they're searching him. Oh, you mean this $10?
You mean this $10 with the cocaine residue on it? This was fun.
That was fun. Figured everybody needed something a little lighter, more.
Yeah, the seasons are changing. I know it's getting cold and windy and shitty everywhere, and it is here, but we like it.
Yeah,
but,
so
that was really fun. I needed that.
Figured we'd do something fun, and we'll do it again.
Yeah.
Don't know how often we'll do it, but once we get our brain block, then
I think it
that
helped.
would be, it definitely
The
helped
funny, the lightness. I think
because once
was
I did
just-
that, then I was able to
Yes!
just like go through my next thing, no problem. It's like you get a little block, but anyways,
it's just like art, just like
yeah.
crafts.
Yep.
You get blocked, and it
This is
sucks,
our
but you
art now.
push through. Exactly, but you push through, and we
Yeah.
did it. And
Yeah.
we did this, and it was really fun. You did a good job.
You did too.
Thanks.
We did it.
We did it.
So
Nos decimos. Sued by Nickelodeon.
I don't know why I keep coughing. Okay, well with that, stay crafty.
And not crimey and dumb.
Bye.